did you get into music?
Well, I met him in band in middle school. We played trombone, first trombone, if I might add.
I was first trombone.
We were both. And then, if I remember correctly, we started a band with Jake and Matt, who were in...
We were the original My Sweet Fall as an
Yeah.
acoustic two-guy project, and our, sophomore year? Or no?
Well, I mean, because she said music.
Oh.
So for me, it was middle school band, because that was when we all started hanging out and playing together. And we all lied that we were good at our instruments. and then we just told Nick not to do anything.
We actually kicked Nick out of the band.
Yeah, a couple times.
Thinking about it again.
Learn music out of spite. Fuck you guys.
That's us.
What's been the best thing about being in this band?
I think the coolest thing for me is like getting to meet people who have influenced me. Like whenever we played,
For real.
like with Early November and Cartel, things like that. Like
Our first big show was Go Radio. That was awesome.
that was really cool. Yeah.
Tyler Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Ben being featured on an album.
Yeah, that was unreal. I have
That's
his
crazy.
lyrics tattooed on me.
The more
I got
people
to
we
meet
can
him.
put
That
under
was
our
cool.
belt. So.
Inside of our beneath our
Under our
pants.
belt, the more famous
Our
people we
pants.
can meet that we listened to earlier in life, and now we're opening for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's cool.
And Cartel, that was awesome for me. I remember them
And Red
forever
Jumpsuit.
ago.
I forgot about
Yeah.
Yeah, red jumpsuit.
that.
Gary and the spoilers.
Yeah. Don't recall that one.
Why did you call it cheap therapy?
Nick.
We're gonna go to him for that.
Because you know, in a way, like sort of, it's the only thing that like really makes me personally feel normal is like performing and doing music and things like that. And music was a big part of getting over the stuff that I got over. And so like without music, I probably would still be all sad and bummed out. So yeah, that was the cheap there.
So music is a cheap thing.
Cheap
The
music is a
album
cheap
as a
therapy.
whole, $10 is cheaper than a session of therapy, right?
It's
the
true.
idea.
And I mean, generally speaking, any sort of like way that you can express anything, like just is such a therapeutic thing. So like our hobbies and the things that we go to are like cheap therapy. So
Yeah.
How would you describe your new music?
Fresh.
That's
Very
refreshing.
progressive.
Yeah, progressive for sure.
Like you said in your review, kind of punk pop roots, but we've kind of
Yeah.
strayed away from that, I guess, a little bit compared to the E EP.
met a little darker side of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like alternative pop punk.
And sad. We shouldn't forget that word. That's
And
a good
sad.
adjective.
Sad.
Sad.
Yeah, we can throw around a lot of adjectives. Juicy. Not so much. Yeah.
How does the new music differ from the old material?
It's a lot harder.
It is
harder.
It is a lot harder.
It's
I got
still
more
kicking our butts.
technicality
Yeah.
to it.
Zach made me quit sucking at guitar.
It's deeper lyrically.
Yeah.
It is a million times deeper
And
than the last album.
One thing that before we really started writing the album as a whole was we decided to write an album rather than the EP. Was we needed songs, you know, so we could play local shows and do this, and it was, well, we needed to get those recorded. It wasn't, you know, we wrote that as one project, but the album was really, we intended it to all go together. We wanted them to be one.
One CD.
Yeah.
It had the EP had like just such a young sound.
Yeah.
And then so I mean we just, you know, we decided to put everything we had into this album, and we really met in the middle with all of our like different opinions and genres, and it's kind of just sort of a big, in a way, a clusterfuck that like came together and like made something that we all really like.
How has music in general affected your life?
Kept me sane.
Definitely.
I don't know what I'd be doing if I didn't get to meet up with these guys a couple times a week and, you know, have a lot of fun playing music and playing shows. And like we said earlier, meeting some of our, you know, favorite musicians is a huge thing for me. I love that.
It's a huge outlet. Like, if we don't play a show for a long time, you can tell by like how I'd like take the world. Like I'll just get mad randomly, like, and just like be irritated or really quiet. But after we play a show, I can like be a lot more relaxed, and just, it's a huge outlet for me.
What's your favorite thing about performing?
Going crazy.
You know, as much as it's the playing the music, which is really cool, something that we never or didn't always get to experience was like seeing people enjoy it. Like playing small shows is, I mean, something that everybody's got to do. But once we started doing big shows, and seeing people, you know, dance around or say the words, like that was a big turnaround for me. Was looking in the audience, seeing people sing along, and I'm like, I've never met you. This is awesome. And that was, yeah, that's my favorite thing.
I like just feeling like we're on the road somewhere towards like some of the bands that I've seen like live, and hoping that one day like what we're doing here will end up where they are. So that's kind of where I'm at.
What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened on stage?
Nick.
Is it right?
I've seen Nick fall
With this band?
multiple times.
Almost
Just-
every show.
Yeah, I used to fall like every show. I haven't fallen in a while. I might fall
busted your
tonight.
nose a couple
He
times.
busted his nose and someone threw him a tampon.
Pretty much everything that I do, I've almost pooped a lot on stage. Like
You jumped in the crowd and they didn't catch you that one time.
it was the same show with the nosebleed.
It was
It's
probably
just a
because
bad
of it.
No, it was all because of that. Because you know, there's hepatitis that people can catch. From
That was the
so-
first show, however, where people came up and wanted Nick to sign stuff.
Yeah.
That was weird
They
too.
they wouldn't catch him, but they would
Intertwined.
sign stuff.
What's the hardest thing about writing?
I think personally for me is with Zach. Because like most of these people, like if I'll write like a lyric or like an idea, they're like, yeah, that's not bad, we can use it, and I'll show Zach, and he's like,
Fucking hate it.
I don't fucking like it. I don't fucking like it. If I'm the only guy who doesn't fucking like it, and then everyone's like, now that Zach mentions it. But I mean, like at the same time, that's the cool thing about it is that like,
It
you
makes it
know,
better.
the parts have gotten
Yeah.
so much better because he put up a fight to it, so.
I think the hardest part was for the album, we really didn't accept anything that wasn't perfect. So we'd work on a song for 3 hours or 2 practices, and then we would just scrap it and go on to the next thing. Like, never mind, just wasn't quite good enough.
We wrote probably, I'd say, at least altogether about 22 full songs. I'd say, like just of like little material here and there. I'd say it was around.
We had a lot of little bits we didn't use, but yet to go along with that, just so Zach, I mean, is a huge, you know, downer
Asshole.
when it
I'm
comes
a
to your
huge asshole.
Well, no, that's the best part though, is it's necessary, because if we're doing as far as we recorded, you know, we're deciding this isn't good enough or we just don't like it, and because we have all of our opinions and we all get to voice them, we all ended up with something that we did like. We made sure every part was the way we all wanted it, rather than one person doing everything. It's nice.
I would say definitely butting heads.
Yeah, it's
But also
necessary.
just finding like something that you can start. It's so hard to start a song, like, because you have a blank palette and you're just like,
How do we begin?
what is it gonna be?
Music.
And there were a lot of times where like we had a song almost all the way written except for like a verse, maybe like a bridge or something like that, and like we didn't touch that for like, we would try and we'd be like, I don't like this, and then like eventually, you know, we'd just try something like that we would have never thought of,
Yeah.
and it ends up working out. Like especially on the title track on my album, Cheap Therapy, like that's
It
the
took
weirdest
forever.
fucking song ever. And it like that the second verse on that song took like a month and a half to write, something that we actually all agreed on. So, and just throughout like a lot of things like that, like Absolution's one song that like we like didn't have the second verse for a really long time.
Second verses.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're getting. Second verse
Those
is
are
what
difficult.
our struggling point.
If you could say anything to your fans, what would it be?
Thank you for
Thank you.
sticking around and like continuously like.
If you like the EP,
You'll love this.
this is way better. Just listen to it and you'll like it.
I'm amazed that like with your support even, like it freaks me out because I mean it's weird to have people who like us enough to like
Just
hey,
based on this, we know these songs for the last half a year, but no one knows any of it yet.
I mean, even we've had people who liked us whenever we like used to sing stuff before the EP that we told you never to listen to. No, but like we have people who've like been like, yeah, I don't mind this, and then we grew, and then they're like, I like this so much better, and then like, we just keep. We're a band that's like, people have given us time to grow, and they've stuck around for that. So, thank you.
Stick around a little longer. It's gonna get good.